Hello family and friends. Here's a look at my messy garage. We're going to go for a ride today, just like we have in the past, and try a new little experiment, a chest-mounted camera. So let's see how that works out. So hello everybody, we've started on that ride. I had to make a stop here because my helmet radio was on, thank you Bluetooth, and I was listening to some wonderful tunes, and gosh, that would have been nice, but you guys wouldn't have been able to hear my dialogue, which terribly disappointment, I'm sure, to you. But we're getting back on here. I'm suiting back up. Going to ride over to BMW Escondido. We'll see how much battery life indeed we have in this GoPro battery, and you'll hopefully enjoy this ride. We're going to go around Lake Hodges to Escondido and give you a little bit of a journey there, and hopefully all this lash up will work out. I won't know until I get back, and of course we'll be doing some editing so that the faux pas, verbal and otherwise, oops, and that's an old guy who's forgetful and forgets to put up the kickstand. There's sensors on this that tell the machine that the kickstand is up. In the old days, you could just take off with your kickstand down, and that could lead to some pretty hairy type situations, especially as you're leaning into a left turn. And no, good grief, here's a bunch of traffic. As you're leaning into a left turn and this kickstand digs in and you go, whoa, and it throws you right over and down onto the ground. You don't get, you didn't get any warning. And then as the machine is whipping around, you kind of go, oh crap, that was the kickstand. So you can't do that anymore, because of these sensors, and it's a good thing because there is so much accoutrement to riding a motorcycle that it's hard to keep track of it all. I should count it up. There's like 10 or 11, maybe 12 individual things you got to do before you hop on a machine and go riding, and that includes from the mundane, such as getting dressed in the first place, to the more sublime, which in this case, because I've got the GoPro active, hopefully the GoPro active, and the microphone in the helmet and all the other stuff, it really adds up, and you're trying to keep track of it all, which with my attention span is a challenge, can be a challenge, and it's easy to forget a thing like a kickstand. But we're traveling along through Rancho Santa Fe, and don't pull out. That's the part that's scary, especially when you see the guy in the machine. He's looking at his telephone or whatever. You don't know if he's just going to stay there or if he's going to say, oh, got it, and take off. But he didn't. And we're going to be traveling along. We're going to go around Lake Hodges, back around through the back way of Escondido, taking a day off from golf. Boy, we played a lot of golf this summer. I'm not improving, but I'm improving my enjoyment of it. By the way, just to my left, I hope you see it, that's one of the groves that are still left around. It's a citrus grove, and there's a beautiful little house up in there, hacienda. Maybe house isn't a grand enough term to describe it, but just a beautiful little patch of earth, and it's so evocative for me of the California that I grew up in. Here, I'll take a little pan there so that you can see those trees. And it's just neat. Love it to death. And that's, I suppose, part of the reason that I've come to really enjoy this area of San Diego, in as much as there's a bit of a throwback to it. It has a feel of the California that I grew up in, so that you do get that nostalgic feeling before extra millions landed. It's not that I was a pioneer or anything like that, but being born here, growing up in the 50s and 60s, I'm not sure what the population growth has been since then, but I'm sure it's a lot of people, a whole bunch of people. That's kind of a curious thing there. There's a whole bunch of palm trees growing along that side of the road, and somebody planted them of a purpose, but they're just kind of set out there. Sort of fun. Okay, we're getting into the road here. It's nice and windy. We're going to have traffic in front of us. That's okay. It'll give us a moment to enjoy it. And that's part of what motorcycling is supposed to be all about. You like the physical involvement of operating the various controls and keeping the machine going, and the other parts of motorcycledom. But what you get in a motorcycle that you do not get in an automobile is a real opportunity to feel the air, indeed to smell it. You can smell it, and to feel the road, be a part of it all. And you can rock it along. This is the Red Baron, by the way. We're on a 2014 BMW S1000r Red Baron, and I've got them in road mode and soft suspension, so it's a cushy enough ride for an old guy. Certainly nothing like a cruiser with a nice big plush saddle would be, but it's there. I can do it, and it gets me kind of the parts of the world that I enjoy. I was just making allusion to how nice it is to be on a motorcycle and actually feel the road and be a part of the air. And you can carve the turns, and that's what this guy does. He's very happy carving some turns. Not perhaps to the extent that Super Mario is. Super Mario only likes to accelerate and turn, but this guy is definitely no slouch. Definitely more machine than this rider is capable of taking 100% advantage of. So I intend to do, speaking of the two motorcycles, I intend to do at some stage in the future a comparison between the two. I want to do a side-by-side comparison of the two and talk about their, I don't know if there's too many minuses, but anyway, plus and minuses, or at least their comparative points. And there are some, and I think, I hope that it'll be interesting for all my friends and family to see. And here we come upon Lake Hodges. We're riding along, we're clinging along to the side of the valley rim here, and this style of road building they don't so much practice anymore, and that is it's terrain following. So they carve this road, they put it up on the side of the hill, keep it out of the floods, flash floods that can occur along the side of the valley. But the civil engineers of the time, and I'm sure they were operating with budget and equipment constraints, they did terrain following. That is, they located on the shoulders, and they certainly scooped up that side of the escarpment to my left there, for instance, but they generally tried to do as little of that as possible, taking advantage of the natural contours of the earth. There's Lake Hodges over my right. To your right, you should be looking at this from the same perspective as I am. And it's just a lovely ride back here. The road's nice and sinuous, to use a term that's kind of fun to toss in every now and then. You can see there's speedboats out there playing. So in Congress in San Diego, and where we live, basically a desert, and yet there are several lakes just within 20 miles of where we are, and they've got water. They actually have water, not like, for instance, the Los Angeles River or the Santa Ana, which for many times of the year don't have water in them. But these actually have water, and people are out there, they're fishing and riding in their motorboats and things like that, and then you have cactus on the side of the road in this sere, arid type of environment. So it's kind of crazy. There, that fellow gave me the down low wave, and that's one of the fun things about a motorcycle brotherhood, a clan, if you will. You see another biker on the road, and I would say 95% will give you that little down low wave there, and it's as if to acknowledge you and say, hey, I get it. I enjoy it too, pal. Have a good time. And that includes women and men. A lot of lady riders out here in San Diego. Last weekend I rode with Mr. John Durso and 4 other machines, all Harley Davidson. I was a lone dissenter out towards Hamul and around the roads there, and we were passed by a multiplicity of these very speedy sport bikes, and I would remark that about 20% of the riders that went past us were females, and they were absolutely no slouches as far as the riding goes. Okay, we're approaching the end of Lake Hodges, but we have a bit more of this windy road to follow. Then we get into part of the city of Escondido, and I'm going to go by, as I think I mentioned, BMW Escondido. They have an open house today, and I'm just going to hang out, drool for a little bit. Pardon that. And then take the GoPro off and maybe go for a little bit further ride. I haven't had much chance to ride lately. Mrs. Cooper's had our schedule so packed. There's a sign to Lake Hodges. We're on Del Dios. So packed with dinners and whatnot. Of course, it is a special time for her, being of an age that shall not be mentioned, at least on this particular video log. I certainly won't mention it. I know what's good for me. But I will tell you that my age is 60. And that seems weird. Feels weird to me, actually, because that's old. I think officially we can classify someone as being old when they're 69. And it feels weird because I wonder, for instance, I don't feel all that old, and what I wonder is when I will and how that will feel. We're in a part of a community of San Diego where I interact, go to various things with, let's say it's an older set, an older group of people, and some of them, I guess you get past the stage, you go from old to elderly, and begin to act elderly. And some of them are elderly. They walk with walkers and walking a bit slower and that sort of thing, and it's inevitable. It's coming, and I wonder when that's going to be, and obviously what that will mean as far as things like riding a motorcycle. It's already pretty unusual that I'm on this machine at 69 years old.